Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some
Well,
fun.
I'm sure you're wondering what the hell is this guy doing all suited up like it's winter time in the middle of summer? Well, it turns out that I started this project in, I don't know, August or September of last year. And it's been a slow progress of getting this thing done and getting it prepared and getting everything ready and sending things back and forth to the customer and to get their approval and having them change direction a couple of times. I had to sign a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement on this project, but I thought it was such an interesting project that I better film it anyhow. At some point or another, they're not going to care. They're going to have a good patent and they're going to have sold it, and then I could film it. So when I completed the project, which is now, I've completed it, the latter part of May. I sent them a note and said, "Hey, is it okay to put this on YouTube?" And they kind of hemmed and hawed a bit, but then they went, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." But if any of their customers want it down, I'll have to take it down. So at some point or another, we may stop this, but I'm guessing that it's going to be fine. So follow along. We're still going to have some fun, even though we're wearing gloves and freezing our ass. All right, well, since we're here, and I'm going to put the super spacer in here, and this vise is already trammed in, it's all set to go, we're going to come in and do our finishes on the plates themselves. And that way, once we take the vise apart, we don't have to worry about it. So, okay, let's get started. Alright, that looks pretty good. Did we catch the whole thing? We did. Now the second cut, we're going to drop it down to so that it's a 1/2 inch total thickness. And right now we're sitting at 625, 645. So 145 thousandths. Okay, so now we're going to shave down the width of it because we're at about 3.5 inches and we want to come down to 3 inches. Alright, we're clean, and I think I'm going to leave it right here because I don't want to get this web right here too thin because the finger nut is going to go right on there. So I think we can just stop right there and flip this thing over and do the same thing on the other side. And I got to load the wood stove again. And get all the crud off of there. All right. Okay, well, let's just see what we've got here. Nice clean edge. I think we're good. Except that it's 3.5 inches, and he wants it to be 3. Well, 3.25, a little over a quarter. So I think I might call him and see if that's going to work for him. Because if I go further in, I'm going to take out this web here, and then of course then it'll be hard to get a good grip on the hinges themselves. So okay, so that's pretty good. All right, we're down there. I think I'm going to put my other bit back in, because this one has a little, I don't know what's up with it, but it has a little dog leg that kind of creates a bit of a shadow. Whereas this bit, no problem. All right. We got a good cleanup. Nice. That side looks fine. I think we're in good shape. Okay, we got ourselves centered. We're sitting on the center of that. We're going to come in and cut our first flute, and then move it around. Oh, I don't know, maybe 30. Let's see, at 45 degrees. Okay, so let's do 8 flutes and see what we got. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just clean up a few edges. I think we're in good shape. Let's do the other side. Okay, so we're making the stop for the opposite side of the thumb screw, and it's a little smaller, and we're gonna actually drill a hole in it and thread it, and then screw it onto the shaft, and maybe even a little Loctite, and then call it a day. All right, we'll just crank it until it starts slipping and then turn it off. Looks like it made it all the way. At least most of the way. Okay, well, it's time to drill a hole and tap that hole in our little knobs. And I think we'll start with a center bit. Give us a little more rigidity. Give us a good start. All right, ready? All right, we got one hole done. Let's flip it around, and we're going to stay on the same line with number one chuck, or number one jaw. And that thing's running true as true can be. We'll put our drill bit away. Okay, now let's put some threads on the back side of this in order to put our little stop in place. And our threads are 832, I believe. Yes, 832, so we need to go to our size, 1360, or 136. So we're at 146, so that's 10 thousandths thicker. All right, there we go. A little bit of fluid. And we got ourselves some threads. Now let's put this on backwards. Okay, so we've got one shaft with a stop, and we'll go and give it a try. Well, and I forgot, yesterday we did the other stop, so we have two shafts with stops. And basically we now need to come in and, we now need to come in and cut this to length and put our finger screws or our thumb screws in place. All right, so we've got our knobs, and they need to actually be just cleaned up just a little bit. So I'm using a chainsaw file, and I think it's going to do the trick. Good start. So I think we'll go back to the lathe, and we're going to hit this with a little sandpaper and just kind of knock some sharp edges down. Smooth it a little bit, but it's still got some rough edges. we'll do the other side. And then I think we might take it over to the buffing room and go ahead and buff it out a little bit. A little better. I think we should take it to the buffing room. All right, let's smooth all of these edges out a bit. How about something like that? That looks better, huh? All right. Well, I checked, and the measurement to the shoulder here is just exactly what I want. And if I'm going to cut this off, then it's going to be too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and just trim out, probably 1/8 of an inch of this material here. That should go pretty quick. Oh, I know what we can do is put it on the shaft. And then just put the shaft in and cut it off that way. So I think what we need to do next is go ahead and take these over, measure our shaft, bring the shaft over here, and cut it and thread it, and then we'll be close to done. All right, here's our thumb screws and our thumb nuts, and there's our shaft. We want to come in there, and I'm thinking we can just kind of cut it off just a little shy, someplace like right in there. And then our threading will take us to there. And both sides are the same, so we can just kind of follow that. All right, we're going to take this apart and this one apart. We'll go over and cut them, and then we'll be back. All right, so we're just going to cut this shaft down just a little bit and thread it and install it, and I think we'll have a finished product here. All right, 136 is our size, and we're going to go a little bit bigger. So we're at 170 right now, so we'll take another 20. And because everything is so flimsy, we're taking it 5 at a time. Well, actually 10 at a time. 5 per side. All right, let's see what we got. 50 thousandths and 50. All right. Round and round we go. Let's take it over to the hinge itself and see how it's going to work. Okay, let's see what we've got. We can slide this in. There we go. In. Alright, well, we got it. It's functioning. I'm happy with it, except for one thing. When I try to really tighten it down, the backside spins. And so basically what I need to do is somehow stop this from rotating. Alright, well, we've got our stop, and we've got it turned around and in backwards, and we're trying to figure out how to get this to not rotate when I rotate the nut on the other side, you know, the thumb nut. So come up with a plan, and let's have a look at it and see. I think it's working. I did it once, and here's the second try, so let's just have a look and see. Well, I'll tell you, I hated to do it because I had just super trammed in that head. But you know, sometimes there's no other way to approach something, and so you know, you just gotta bite the bullet and knock the thing out of tram, and then have to spend the next half hour or so tramming it back in. But you know, it's not too bad. So we're going to come in closer. I'm going to show you what I'm up to. All right, so we had our super spacer already set up, so that was in itself a good thing. So we're just going to kind of drop our piece in the center here. It is attached to the shaft, and I've got a little lock nut behind it to kind of hold it in place. We'll cinch everything down. And what the plan is to come across with this keyway cutter, or I'm not sure what that is. Anyhow, and cut a little groove in half of it, all the way into the threads, and then rotate it 15 degrees, cut it again, rotate it 15 degrees, cut it again. And I say 15 degrees because the super spacer clicks at 1500 degrees and locks in. So we'll just keep rotating and cutting until we get this thing to the end. And boy, I'd like to get you in closer. Let's see if that's going to be clear enough. It looks like it's clear. All right, let's just give it a try and see what we get. All right. All right, so we're just going to loosen this up. Oh, probably just take it off. Put a little thread locker in. Come on. There we go. Put it back on. Just snug it down a little bit. And we're set. Let's go ahead and assemble this thing. See what we got. Oops. I need a washer on that. The other side. Nope. I think what I want to do is put a knob on each side, although, you know, my customer can decide to change it around if he wants. Okay, so now we've got it opening, and there's 90 and there's 120, and then also what he wants to be able to do is to bring it back to something like this and tighten it up and not have it move, and tighten this one up and not have it move. So that's not too bad. Loosen them up a little bit, bring it back in, and I think we're set. Well, what a project this was. This was, you know, a nightmare for a long time. Each version kept compounding on itself until I finally came up with the answers, and we've got ourselves a reasonable unit now. So I've still got to come in and clean up some edges and stuff like that, but hey, and now it's a fun project. There was a period about 3 days ago where it was not a fun project at all, but you know, I knew just keep persevering and keep moving forward. And we did it. So clean it up a little bit, put it in a box, send it to my customer, and get the final payment. And this is Nick Collier checking out.